Today is another great day. It's raining here out in California. What's today? Today is Wednesday, the 12th. I'm just sitting in my garage talking to myself. If you're here, welcome, 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 welcome. I didn't get to go to the gym yet. I'll probably go later. How's everyone doing today? Got some orders in. It's the machine's going right now. And so I just gotta wait for this bad boy to heat up so I can print some, looks like an apron set. What do we have here? Jim and Greta. Jim and Greta, I'm making your order. I'm making it right now. Okay. Make your order, Jim and Greta. Jim and Greta. How's everyone's day going so far? What is going on in the world? Let me think. What was I thinking about today? If you're just joining, I'm just a guy in my garage talking to myself and the internet. So we'll see what everyone wants to talk about today. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about my first few jobs. You know, like the first few jobs you get in life and how that kind of shapes the person you are. Like, how crazy is that? That you kind of like go through school and then you get a job, or you're even maybe sometimes you work while you're in high school, right? And then you get a job while you're in college, and how that kind of just shapes your life and what kind of like path you get down, all because you decide that you needed some money. Like, and a lot of times, like, you know how we get jobs that are not even related to what you want to do, and then you get stuck doing that job, and then because you do that for 1 year, the first year you suck at it, the second year you're better, the third year at a job you're like professional, like you're really good now, right? And then you just get stuck doing that job because now at the third year you're really good at it, and if you move to a different job then you have to start over. The first year you suck, second year you're learning, third year you're good. So like, you let's say you start your first job, you're like working fast food, first year you suck, and then by the time you're good at it, it's time to leave, and then you gotta go join a new job. Trying to Let's see, what was my first job? Kind of go back. Let's see. I know I did a lot of child labor because I am Asian. My parents had a nail shop. Well, they had quite a few of them. They had like 2 or 3 nail shops. Right. So my job early on was they would have me go out, and this is back in like early 90s, right? I think I was probably around like 10, 12 or so. And my job back then, so my parents had a nail shop in the morning or on the weekends. And during summer, we did this. If it was summertime, I would do this every day. But during the weekends, they would give me a stack of flyers. They're like coupons and flyers for their nail shop. And my job was to go into the parking lot and basically empty out that stack. Right? If they'll give me a big stack like this, and in the morning they were like, "Here you go." And my job was to go and stick the flyers on on everyone's cars. I remember that was my first job that I ever got. Basically working for my parents, and I hated it because, like, you know, when you're a kid on the weekend, all you want to do is stay home and play like video games and just be at home, not have to do anything. But no, every weekend they'll give me a stack of flyers, right? I would and this is in the morning. They'll give me these flyers. So if you ever seen like the parking lot for like a plaza in the morning, it's empty. There are no cars, and I basically was not allowed to come back until till I empty out my stack of flyers. And so in the morning, I'm literally just standing around the parking lot. If you park, I'm there. If you park a car, I'm there because I'm trying to get rid of these flyers. And then the part that would suck would be the part where you fill up, you got all the cars in the parking lot because I'm literally just standing there. I'm the first person in the parking lot. If you park a car, I'm just waiting. I'm fiending for more cars. I need more cars to come so I can put the flyers on their windshield. Right? And you do the whole plaza, and then once you do the whole plaza, maybe you walk across the street to another plaza and do that whole plaza. And then I wasn't allowed to have lunch or go back to the shop until I finished my stack of flyers. So I was basically spend all day outside passing out these flyers until I got older. And what I did was I would go and do one plaza, like a big chunk. Like basically, I would do enough. So if my parents looked out the window of their shop, because how they gauged it was if they look out the window of their shop, they want to see every car have a flyer on there. And if they go out and they look outside and they don't see a flyer on a car, that means I missed the car. And I will get in super big trouble. They would yell at me. They'll give me another stack, basically. They're like, do more. You missed one. And, and as I got older, what I would do is I would fill up the plaza, or at least I would look at I would spend time studying what they could see out their window, and I would do all the cars in the vision of their window of their shop, and then I would just dump the rest of the flyers in the trash because I hated it so much. It would be early, and then sometimes on holidays, you know what my parents would do on holidays? And you think like when they're closed, you would think that they would just like hang out and just like just chill a little bit. No, on holidays when their shop is closed and I have school off, they would drive me around now. So now we go to other neighborhoods that aren't in the general range of their nail shop, and now we will put flyers on those cars. And that's how I spent my weekends now. So, other kids are doing sports and have all these after school programs, whatever. I was handing out flyers for their nail shop. So that was my first job. So you could say I was in advertising. That's also the funny part when you get a job, right? And you have to put it on your resume. That's the funniest part is when you kind of like you change what you do and like you make it sound exciting. So like I'm passing out flyers and you're gonna be like, I was in marketing and advertising. Really? Yes, I was the marketing and advertising manager, supervisor, consultant person for this nail shop. That's always so fun. Let me think. What is my next job I had? So that was most of my. I want to say so. Like I said before, that was from 10. I think I started when I was 10 or 12. I forget. Different time because they would just let me roam the plaza, and I remember what I used to do too. So I would dump the flyers, right? Because at some point I don't want to do this anymore. I would dump the flyers, and this is back, like I said before, in the 90s. A lot of supermarkets used to have these machines outside, and they would basically crush. They're recycling machines. I don't know why they don't have them anymore. It seemed like a great idea. I wonder, do people still have these? The supermarkets used to have these machines outside, and you can recycle with them. So what you do is you can get, now they have like recycling centers where you go there and you like weigh out the cans. They just weigh it and they give you money. But back when I was a kid, they used to have these machines outside supermarkets that will recycle. So they can recycle plastic cans and bottles, right? And I remember they would pay, and you put the cans in there, or glass bottles, or plastic, whatever, and it would recycle it there. It would shred it up. It would shred it like if you put a plastic bottle in there, or a plastic bottle, it will shred it up right there on the spot. And if you put in an aluminum can, it will it'll crush it on the spot. Same thing with glass bottles, right? So what we used to do is, me and my brother, we would go around the whole plaza, right, and look for cans, bottles, and all kinds of things, so we can recycle it. And they'll pay you on the spot. They'll give you a voucher, and you can go into the grocery store and redeem the voucher. And I remember it was like 5 cents per can or bottle or whatever. I don't remember exactly what the prices were. But what we would do is we would go around, we'll check all the trash cans, we'll go to dumpsters. So after we're done passing out flyers, we'll just go around and we're like the recycling crew. You've seen like the people at the gas stations or wherever, they rummage through like the trash cans and whatnot, and they'll try to find bottles. That's what we did as like in elementary school, basically, right? And we'll get like maybe $5 a day, 5-10 bucks a day. And what we did with that is, there was an arcade, not really an arcade, there was a comic shop, and the comic shop had an arcade. So we would go recycle all these cans and whatnot, get the voucher, go into the grocery store, maybe get a snack, and then take the money that we got from recycling and go to the arcade. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. Today is a great day. I'm just reminiscing on jobs, and I was saying earlier that how your jobs kind of throughout your life shape your life. So you can hear me ramble on as I make this order. And yeah, so I don't know why they don't have these machines anymore. I feel like it was pretty smart. Maybe in your area, I don't know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When I was growing up, they had these recycling machines that just sat outside of grocery stores, and people came to them all the time. And yeah, you would recycle things. You get like a few bucks or so, and we will go to the arcade, and we'll play until we'll play basically until our money runs out, and then we'll go try to find some more cans, or we'll do that and just save the money, and maybe we could buy something. This is something kids today don't understand. Okay, saving money. Okay, so I feel like we did that. I did that for a long time, all the way probably until middle school ish. Because later on, my parents sold that shop, and we didn't have access to that arcade anymore, and it was. But I also remember, anytime we needed spare change, I would literally just go. This is how lazy some people are. So they have those recycling machines, right? And then they had 3 trash cans right in front. And I remember you can count on people and finding like cans and stuff in those trash cans all the time. And I'm like, dude, the machines are right here. Just, you could put it in and just get like 20 cents back. Oh, those are great times. Let's see. So that was a good chunk. I didn't have a job in high school because I was busy doing all these sports. I didn't have time. But in college, I got a job working at a like I'm trying to explain because the company is not around anymore. But they're a document copying business. The one thing I always remember is that if you watch Something About Mary, there's a scene in Something About Mary. It's near the beginning when Ben Stiller's talking to his friend, and I think he's like moving or something. In the back, there are trucks that go back and forth, like they're on the street. And in the back, there are these trucks that are going back and forth, right? And the company bought, I'm pretty sure, because that's how movies work. Product, I don't know, you guys know, but like there's nothing that is random in a lot of movies and shows. It's all ad placements, right? So they must have bought advertising to be in the movie because there's there's a truck that goes around in the background, and it's an Icon truck. That's where I worked. That was my first like real official job, and I was like I think it was my first year in college. I had this job, and it worked out because it was second shift. And if you guys ever work second shift is from 3 to 12 o'clock at night. And they copied documents. And I remember they usually do like a lot of stuff with lawyers and just maybe even companies. This was mid 2000s now when companies started digitizing their stuff. Companies were starting to move away from having paper files to having digital files, and that's the other thing we did is we digitized documents, right? Or we just copied them. So like, let's say you had like lawyers were a big customer for this company because when you have a lawyer, they have like lots of documents that they need to hand out for like business depositions or whatever, and they need multiple copies. And so they would contract this company to do that. So I remember going through like can you imagine like you work for like a company, right? And you're working on top secret stuff. And I remember like sifting through these documents. Like you're not supposed to be reading them, but I read them. Because it's like lawsuits and it was like patent information, some of them. Like it was just like documents, like just stuff that's in a company, but you're outside the company. Now you're looking at it and I'm trying to figure out what are they doing? What is what's going on with this company? Right. And so I remember one of their contracts was Victoria's Secret. So I could see like old issues of Victoria's Secrets, or maybe even like uh, things that weren't even printed out yet, but they needed it copied and digitized. And it was like stuff like that. And I just remember finding it so interesting. They had a biomechanic company, and it just feels like you're a peeping tom in their company. You're just like peeping into their world and seeing what are you guys working on? What's going on with this company here? And like sometimes I would like to pretend that I work there too, at that company and just at that other company, and just like, oh yeah, this case is looking very strong, or this patent. Sometimes they would have patents on there, and I would read through the patents. There was this. I remember they had a big client that every week they had to get their documents scanned, their paper documents scanned into digital, and they were like a biomedical company or something like that, a biomedical device company, and they had all these weird patents. And like I remember one was like it was like a robotic like hand glove thing, And I guess this what I'm thinking about right now is like, there's people that get paid to come up with like all these random inventions and stuff that never see the light of day. And I was thinking to myself, like, that must suck. You spent years of your life, right, working on some random project, and nobody even knows about it except for some guy in another company, right? Um, just sifting through the documents just for funsies. Oh, and the lawsuits, those were fun to read through, even though you're not supposed to, but we did it. I can say that now. The company's not around anymore. We read your documents, okay? Oh no, this one didn't turn out very well. Right, reprint this one. Okay, so I did that for a very long time. I think that was like 2 or 3 years too. And then on the weekends, there was a guy that worked there, and he was so he worked with me at the document copying company. But on the weekends, he had another thing that he did was he installed pool tables, and every once in a while he would need extra help. And I never did it because I always thought it was very strange, because I'm like eight not 18, I'm like 20, 21, 22 at this time, and he's like 40, 50, right? And he would try to get some of my coworkers to like go with him to install pool tables. It was like a side thing he did on the weekends. And I was just thought it was very strange. Like, I don't know, I want to get in the hang out with this guy. He didn't seem right. He seemed like he was up to no good. Like, like you hear those stories that sometimes you get into the wrong car and just disappear. That's what it felt like. He was like, "Oh, come on, it's good money. Get into the car." And but one time I did. Oh, actually, I did it like 2 or 3 times. So you would basically, someone orders a pool table, or you need to move your pool table. This is what people don't think about, okay? When they buy a pool table, is that the pool table needs to be leveled, and it's heavy and whatnot, so it's hard to move around. So basically, they would subcontract that out to people. And just imagine, I know nothing about pool tables or anything, so I would go with him to like a house, and let's say you're moving and you need to move the pool table like to another house. We will basically disassemble that pool table and put it into a car and transport it to another place and reassemble it. Or if you bought a pool table, we we go and we assemble it in your house. And it was like, I remember he paid, I don't know how much he got paid to do this, but I got paid like $50, I think, per pool table to install. So I thought that was pretty good, and there was no time limit. It was basically as fast as you go, you got your $50. So it was pretty good. Like on the weekends, we would go, and we could probably do like 2 or 3 of them. So that's like, like 100 or $150 every week. So that was pretty awesome. So I want to say that was a good chunk of my college time until later in college. I got a job at no, I left that company because I wanted to get into finance. If you guys have been here before, I watched a MTV show when I was in high school, and it was real life of a day trader or something like that, or stockbroker. And I remember that's what I wanted to do. Because like they had a guy in a bathrobe, and he would wake up, make like 100, like not 100, like he would make like $10,000 and then just hang out for the rest of the day. And I was just like, oh, that's what I want to do. That's the path. That's the way, guys. I want to do that. Right. And I should have thrown this away. And that's the path, guys. And so I needed to intern. So I quit my job to intern at, let's see, the company is no longer around because they got bought out, but it was Wachovia. There's Wachovia Bank, right? But I was interning at Wachovia Securities, and they did their financial advising firm. So I interned there for a while. I'll make cold calls to people, like try to get them to find someone to manage their 401k. So I did that, and then I got good at cold calling, and then I got another job. Now this is where you kind of divert, right? You kind of divert, like I was saying before, your jobs make up your life in a way. You can get stuck at a job or not, and this is where I got into the commercial finance company, which has nothing to do with stocks. But guess what? I didn't know that. I just saw that it was a finance company, and I just applied. I was assuming that it was a, like, I don't know, like a hedge fund or something. This is the things they don't teach you in school, okay? If you're gonna major in finance, let me tell you something, okay? Finance is one of the most bullshit like majors you can possibly get, because half the stuff they teach you in like class is completely useless. Like, no, not even half. 99% of the stuff they teach you in there is useless. Because at the end of the day, to be a stockbroker, you need to have money. Because it's not, because if you think about it, being a stockbroker or financial advisor or whatever, 90% of that is automatic. Like, it's automated. You get the hardest part of being a financial advisor is not even doing the getting the stocks. Like, you think that they're sitting there picking stocks and whatnot and trying to build. No, 99% of the job of being a financial advisor is actually getting the customers. You just need money to manage, and that's literally all they're trying to do. They just need to get money to manage, and then they put them in like different funds, and the funds manage themselves, and that's that. And you get a percentage every month or every year, whatever. So anyways, I ended up in a commercial finance company because I thought that was like, I don't even know how I got there. And yeah, but that was one of the best, I feel like, best places to work if you're thinking about getting into business and you don't know jack squat. And I see the ads online for different finance companies all the time, like commercial finance companies. And I want to say, if you want to get into business and you know nothing about business, try working for one of these commercial finance companies. You're going to learn a whole lot about different businesses. All right, so this is the first apron here that we just finished. Boom, boom. Sous Chef Greta. All right, Greta, your apron is done. And then we gotta do the couples. Remember, I do couples. Lots of couple stuff. Someone asked me why. Why do I do couple stuff? It's because you can work hard. Like, it's the same amount of work, right, to sell one design, like one shirt or one apron or whatever. But if you do couples, you sell two. So it's the same amount of work, like, because, like, you make a listing or you take pictures or whatever, right? It's literally the exact same amount of work to do a single or couple. So my thought process was, hey, if I'm going to do the exact same amount of work, I might as well try to sell two of that item. That's how we got into couple stuff. Right? Matching couple stuff. That's how we get here. So it's the same amount of work, but you get to sell two. Boom. Anyways, yeah. Why a commercial finance company? If you don't know nothing about business, it's a great place to learn about business because you learn all aspects of a business just from working there. You learn marketing, you learn sales, you learn how different businesses work. All right, so here's the other part. Okay, Head Chef Jim. Now you can tell they're older. This is probably for a granddaughter or whatever buying for their grandparents because it says established 2003. That may seem may seem not that long ago, like 2000. I'm sorry, 1993. When you think about it, that's like 30 years ago, and for them to be established in that time, that means they're already like 20 something, right? By the time that they like get together, I mean, unless we have different problems. You know what I mean. Oh, I got right, and then oh, wait, I gotta cut out another set of this, so we gotta keep going. I just realized I was one. So they ordered two sets, and I was wondering to myself, like, why did they get two exact same sets? And I just realized they ordered two, but they flip flopped who's head chef and who's sous chef. Oh, that makes so much more sense. This is the one thing I always think about that's very funny. Is that people buy these the head chef, sous chef, right? And every single time, almost every single time, they put the guy as the head chef, right? But the guy most likely does not do the cooking. So shouldn't the lady be the head chef and the guy be the sous chef? This is the part that I find very, very funny. I think I mentioned this before. It's like you do all the cooking, but the guy comes in and he gets all the credit because his apron says head chef. All right, so it's two orders, but I have to redo that red one because I just realized that I made the wrong colors. Ugh. This is a lesson. Always double check. Always double check. Okay, so what were we doing? Oh, commercial finance company. So yeah, there I would be cold calling people all over America, right? From 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are the hours. And I remember sometimes you would get like old school guys that come in and they'll be like, oh, back in my time, the chef wrote the recipe. Maybe. Okay, maybe that's the case. But I'm just saying, so this is the same thing, right? This is on blackmail, right? Head chef, I gotta press it down first. Head chef, Jim, right? Sous chef Greta. But I just find it very funny. And especially this is an older couple, right? Established 1993. This is an older couple. So you think about like, because sometimes you do these things and you kind of get a glimpse into somebody's life and you kind of think about their life a little bit. This is an older couple, right? So there's a good chance that during this time period, right, 1993, you imagine 1993 is when, like ladies started working, but still guys were the main breadwinners. So he's not home a lot. He probably does not do a lot of the cooking. It's not like now. I feel like modern times, guys know how to cook more than ladies do. I don't know if you guys had this experience, but I feel like a lot of the ladies that I meet now, they don't know how to cook at all. And I feel like that's a very important skill to at least, this is what I tell my kid all the time. You need to learn how to cook at least 3 dishes in your lifetime. And if you're a guy out there, this is a tip for you as well. Learn to cook at least 3 or 4 dishes. It is a game changer in the dating world because it shows the ladies that you are you're like you can take care of them. So learn to cook just a little bit, just enough to impress them at least once or twice. Okay, that's all you need. And then from there on, they're gonna think that you know how to cook, and they're like, "Oh wow, Jim knows how to cook." And you're like, "Yes, I do. I make the best. I don't know, jambalaya, right?" And every time they eat jambalaya or whatever dish it is, they're gonna think about you. They're gonna remember that one time, that one guy that cooked them that one dish that was good. All right, so learn to cook 1 dish, 1 or 2 dishes, and learn to cook it well enough that people want to eat it. Now, if you're still cooking it and it's trash, don't don't feed them that. That's I don't advise that. That's crazy. Okay, what else is going on? All right, I'm gonna make sure this is right now. I should have double checked it. Technically, I just wasted that apron. Okay, so Jim, head chef is black. But I like what they did here. What they did is they actually bought 2 sets, 2 different colors, and they switched the head chef, sous chef around. So I guess they're more progressive than you would think, or at least whoever. If this is a gift, whoever bought this for them, uh, thought about it. Boom, boom, boom. There's the black one. The other black one. All right. Commercial finance company. Why I say that is one of the best jobs that you can work if you have no experience and you want to get into business. Because a big part, at least of the company that I was working for, it was cold calling. And I don't know if cold calling is still a thing anymore because you have, like robo calling now. But we would basically call different businesses all over the country, construction businesses, food businesses, things that you don't even think about kind of businesses. And you basically learn about them. And most of the time, you need to talk to the owner of the business, the CEO, the founder of the business, and you just learn about it and little quirks here and there. Like I remember trying to get a financing deal done for a school, like a private owned school. And I learned a lot about how the finances work at a school. how much how much planning goes ahead of time. Like they plan like just doing a playground. Because I remember there was this school that was trying to update their playground. It's like a private school or something, so they don't have the state funding, but they're trying to redo their playground. And like I learned about the endowment fund, like that they have, and the board they have to like get it approved for all these different people, and so that's very interesting. That to me at the time, learning about how the schools worked, how the funds at a school work, or you would learn about the biomedical equipment industry. That was a huge one for me. I I got a lot of commission checks working with these. I think they're called like they're medical equipment companies, and so basically they're the companies that let's say you need I know the popular thing when I was there were nebulizers and respirators. And this is way before COVID. Okay, so when COVID hit and people needed they were trying to find like respirators and stuff. I knew what those were, and nebulizers and all that kind of stuff. I knew what those were because I worked at this commercial finance company, and a big part of my business was actually contacting these guys and helping them buy these respirators and nebulizers and whatnot. And it's 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 good. It's a good business model because what they would do is they would buy these things, right? Let's just do respirators. They do walkers and all kinds of stuff, all wheelchairs and all the stuff. But basically, they work as a rental company in a way. So they will buy the respirators for, let's say they're like $200 each or something, $200 or $300 each. I forget how much they were. I remember they were like a couple $100, right? But they can finance them through a company like the commercial finance company. And it would be like, if we were to finance it, it would be like, I don't know, each one would be $30, 20, like maybe like $20 a month or something, right? So they can buy a whole bunch of them. And then the insurance companies will find, do you have a need for them somewhere? Maybe the insurance company says, or a doctor says, hey, you need to get a respirator or whatever, and these people don't want to buy one because they're pretty pricey, but then you can rent them, right? And maybe the insurance company will pay for it. It's for you to rent it because you only need it for a short while. You don't need it forever. So the insurance companies don't want to pay for you to buy one, but they'll pay for you to have one, right? So then these guys will basically rent out these respirators or whatever to you, and they'll bill the insurance company or bill you directly, maybe $20, $25 a month, right? So they'll make $5 a month from financing it out and giving it to you for another price that's higher, right? And then same thing, they'll do that with walkers, wheelchairs, all kinds of stuff. So, and for like a commercial finance company, that's great for me because that means they need to, any rental company needs to buy new stuff all the time, right? Because you're renting it out, it breaks, it gets lost, it's stolen, it doesn't work anymore, you need to buy more. So that was a big chunk of, I got so many commission checks from them. So like, yeah, you learn all these weird things from these companies like that. And let's see, after that, I was there for a while, maybe like 4 years. And the other thing that was really great about working there was I saw all kinds of different people. I don't know what, I don't know if it's this particular company in general, but every week or so, there would be a group of kids from high school that tried to work there. And I was thinking, like, you guys want to work with this company that bad? I thought it was a different company. And I just ended up taking the job because this was like, I think I started there in 2009, around there. And if you guys remember anything about 2009, 2007, 2008, there was a market crash. And so things are just starting to recover a little bit, but jobs were still tight. And so I was like, I'll do anything. And so I just took this job because it was paying pretty well. And I like jobs that have commission. So, you can work towards getting your commission check. And I was thinking to myself, like, I hated being there because I liked it and hated it at the same time. Because it was a lot of work to get, especially later on when you're commission only. And, every month or so, you don't know how much money you're going to make. That part is very stressful. But yeah, I like the part where I learned a whole lot about different businesses, restaurant business, trucking business, construction businesses. Like I don't know you guys missed it. Yesterday I was talking about the porta potty business and how that is actually a really good business. Very similar to how the ATM business works or vending machine business works. Let's see. So I was there until I started doing my own thing here, making stuff. Making stuff. What else is going on? Oh, this reminds me of my friend that I met online. And I guess this is where I was going with the random job thing, right? Is that I met this guy online and he told me this story. I don't know if it's true or not, but it just seemed like a crazy story. He works as a crime scene cleanup guy, right? So I don't know if you guys have seen those videos online, like they're like crime scene cleanup people, after someone passes away or whatever, they come in and they clean the area because you need to either sell the house or you just need it cleaned, right? And so that's what he did. He was a crime scene cleanup guy. And he said one day he got a call, right, to go clean up this crime scene. So he shows up, and the guy, and I guess he does, a lot of times when he does this, the police are not around, right? And so he says he shows up, and the guy is there. And then he said, oh, the police were just here. You missed them. Is the body's this way. You can come clean it up. And he was very weirded out by the whole scenario, right? And then he goes in, and the guy's in there, and then the guy says, and this is the part where I'm a little weirded out. Oh, maybe not. Now I think about it right now, is that so the guy has to pay him, right, to clean it up because that's his house. I guess you never really think about this, right? After something like that happens, that you have to pay to clean up the area. But the guy wanted to pay him in cash, and my buddy was saying that that's not unheard of. He's done that before. Like people pay him in cash to clean up a crime scene, right? It was like, I think he said it was like $3,000 or something like that. And he was like, okay. So he goes in there and he cleans up the whole area. He said it was a pew 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 pew. And the guy told him what happened was someone came into the house and just pew pew. The lady that was in the house, right? I think it was a female, and the guy wasn't home or something, and somebody came in and just the lady, and so he cleaned up the whole area. He said when he comes in there, he cleans it up. Nobody knows. He makes it look immaculate, right? And then the guy pays him, and then as he's leaving, he's like, "Oh, I need to finish up my paperwork. Can you give me the police report so I can log it in and that I cleaned up this area, this crime scene, and everything." And then the guy was like, "Oh, the police were just here. He said they literally just left a little while ago. they didn't give me the report yet. When I get it, I'll forward it to you. So, and then my buddy was like, oh, okay. He's had that happen before too, so that wasn't completely uncommon. So he leaves. So he gets paid, and he leaves the area. He did his job. He cleaned up the body. He has the body with him. I believe I'm sorry. He doesn't have. Yeah, he has everything with him. No, I'm sorry. I'm messing it up. I'm messing up the story. I don't think the body was there, but he has like all the blood and all the like the sheets and all that stuff with him. He takes it all with him. He's gonna go dispose of it later. So he's on his lunch break right now, and he's got all the stuff in there. And he decides to just open his laptop real quick, just to do some work and stuff. And because he needs that police report, because you can't just clean up a crime scene, right? So he needs that police report, and he wanted to check that the police report come in yet, so he can log it into his to the system, whatever system that they have, right? So he's there, and he's trying to. He looks up the address, and he saw that they did have a crime there, and he looks into it, and it says that a male came in and pew-pewed, and the suspect is still missing, assumed in the area, and he thought about it some more, and he realized that the guy, because okay, let me back up a little bit. The guy called him, the guy called the company directly, and now he just put all that together. But the guy called the company directly, he wanted it to be paid in cash, and he didn't have any paperwork yet. So my buddy's freaking out now because he just put it all together that he just cleaned up a crime scene that he was not supposed to, and he took cash for it. And he's got all this evidence now in his truck, and he's freaking out because he doesn't know what to do. And he disappears off the face. This is kind of where the story ends, because I never heard from him again. He literally just disappeared. I don't know what he did, but he just vanishes. I don't know this. I feel like he freaked out and just because I don't, that's crazy. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what is gonna happen at your job? All right. What else? What else? Feels like today is a much tamer day. Ooh. And this is how we get here. What else is going on in the world that I find very interesting? I think that's basically it. I want to take a break. Thanks for coming, guys. I want to try to finish this order here, pack it up, and I will be back in the afternoon to see what else is going on in the world. And if you enjoy this, if not, right, see ya later.